Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 22 realistic rebuild. In today's episode, we're going to be realistically rebuilding the Los Angeles Chargers, and I think this team has easily the potential to be a playoff team as long as they can work out the play calling a little bit better and the team stays healthy, because losing Derwin James every year, aka the leader of their defense, literally every year, is a major loss to them. I'm pretty sure he does all the audibles on the defense too, so losing him each and every year is a big restraining factor for the Chargers to not make the playoffs. So hopefully we can do that here. So this is the overlook of the team, and obviously on the Chargers, they got their new addition, Rashawn Slater here, but we also have Austin Eckler, and we also have Keenan Allen as well, and Mike Williams. Mike Williams has been pretty decent so far, but looking at their offensive line is pretty good along with Jared Cook, and offensively, like Brian Bulaga, don't know really how necessarily I feel about him. I'm pretty sure he's going to be off the team after this year because he's too old. Corey Linsley and Rashawn Slater is here as well. Steal in the draft, in my opinion. Absolutely great pick. I thought it was going to be Christian Darrisaw, but great pick there. But looking at it from a defensive standpoint, I think I want to move back into a 4-3. I really don't like this, how it is right now. But Asante Samuel Jr. is here as well. I do like this great pick for him for the Chargers. They got him in the second round. I thought he was a first-round player. I think Derwin James is definitely the leader of this defense, and he will perform greatly if he can just stay healthy. But I'm going to start Asante Samuel Jr. in the slot as well, so that way he gets more reps and just gets boosted. Chris Harris Jr. is not going to do anything for us in the future. So anyways, guys, apart from that, let's move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are coming off a bye week, as we are 2-4 here to face the 5-2 Patriots. That really sucks for us. But looking into the player negotiations here, Chris Harris Jr., Linval Joseph, Jared Cook, Mike Williams is a yes. All those other players that I just mentioned is a no. Let's re-sign Mike Williams as he re-signs with the team. Uchenna Nwosu, a little bit low for an overall, but he is relatively cheap for a pass rusher, so I will re-sign him. Justin Jackson's a no, and everyone else here is just a no. Don't really have much interest for those guys. We are in a rebuild. We need to get rid of the old players, so let's move to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs as we are coming off a win to the Raiders, but we did not make the playoffs, finishing 6-11. That's kind of understandable with how low overall. Well, our team's not that low overall, but at the same time, Madden Sim kind of sucks. That's a decent season for Justin Herbert. 24th best offense, 14th best defense. Looking into it, Justin Herbert, 3,500 yards, but actually, I want to see the NFL stats. Like, I can never seem to break over 4,000 yards. Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes broke over 4,000 yards, but nobody else did. That doesn't make a lot of sense. These Madden Sim stats are solely based towards the running game. I don't know why, how two players only get over 4,000 yards, but still, going back to the team, 3,500 yards, 32 TDs, 17 interceptions is one too many. And Austin Eckler, 10 TDs, over 1,000 yards. Keenan Allen, 6 yards away from a 1,000-yard season, 8 TDs. Kenneth Murray Jr., 131 tackles, 12 tackles for a loss for Uchenna Nwosu, 10 sacks for Joey Bosa, 4 interceptions for Chris Harris Jr. Safeties on the team is going to be 0, and defensive touchdowns is 1 for Derwin James. So, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it solely affects simulation. I think it's QB. But anyways, let's move to the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, this time getting their revenge as Zeke wins MVP. A lot of halfbacks seem to be winning MVP in this new Madden, but they seriously need to fix the sim stats because it's honestly getting annoying how QBs never get any passing stats along with their receivers. But anyways, looking into the team, offensively, you're going to tell me that Justin Herbert is an 80 overall, but Colin Kaepernick is an 81 overall? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Jared Cook got a dev up, but he's not going to be useful because he's going to be off the team. And everyone else here, who else did get an upgrade? It looks like Chris Harris Jr. got a star dev upgrade, but it also doesn't matter. Him and Jared Cook are not going to be on this team. Asante Samuel Jr., I still want him to be a starter, but he is a star dev player only. He's not superstar, unfortunately, which does make sense. He was only a second-round pick, not some early first-rounder. So anyways, guys, let's move into the next week to see our retirements here for the AFC West, I believe it is. Looking into it, not AFC East, where is it? Stop. AFC West. There we go. Okay. So Richie Incognito retires on the Raiders. That's cool. It doesn't really matter to us. Kind of does, I guess. It helps our division overall, but we are in a hard division with the Chiefs here, and the Raiders are kind of okay. Chris Harris, no. Linval Joseph, Jared Cook is a no. Chris Harris, maybe 1 year, because we don't have anyone else, and I'm not going to free agency for that guy. He can just hit free agency. I could care less. Probably can pick up somebody else better. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it is time to move into the free agency. Here we are in free agency, getting a massive haul in free agency, picking up Mark Andrews, Bryce Callahan on cheap deal, Young Hoku, Ronnie Harrison, J.K. Scott as a punter, Patrick Ricard, and Avonte Maddox. A massive haul in free agency, significantly improving this team. So anyways, guys, apart from that, let's move into the draft. So here we are in the draft. These are realistic rosters. We're getting DeMarvin Leal, I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't know what it is, but this is loaded in class. So this is a loaded in class. This is a realistic class for the first year. I don't know if I forgot to mention that before, but this is a realistic rebuild, so it gets a realistic class. I'm only going to be doing the 2022 draft class, not 2023. It's way too early to determine that. Our defensive back group is looking a lot better with Bryce Callahan here. He is a Band-Aid player, but I do think he'll do relatively well. So overall, this team has significantly improved in the offseason. I'm super happy about it. But looking into the free agents, I think I might want to sign a secondary back here. Not Raheem Mostert. Richard Sherman. That might be a good idea. Halfback, I don't want to hear Raheem Mostert just because he's going to be a higher overall than Austin Eckler. I heard if you have a dual-headed backfield that you'll perform better in simulation, like how the Browns do with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So let's just get to the midseason. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 1-5. Apparently that dual-head back theory is completely wrong. So 1-5, not great. Derwin James is here, and of course I do want him back. I don't know what it is with simulation, but anytime I play the team as simulation and leave everything the same, the team just performs terribly. I don't know why. Jerry Tillery, 25 years old. I thought this dude was for sure 30. He looks 30, but he resigns with the team because of his star development. That's the only reason why I re-signed him, and everyone else here is just a no for me. So apart from that, guys, hopefully we can just finish at a low pick for the draft. So here we are as we finished 4-13. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but as I mentioned before, I'm happy about this because now we get a tank for the draft and get a really good player. So doesn't make a lot of sense, especially with the team we have. I think we have an 86 overall team. Justin Herbert, not too different from last season, except touchdowns are down. 24th best offense, 30th best defense makes no sense. 3,500 yards, 28 TDs, 10 interceptions. Austin Eckler, 11 TDs, over 1,000 yards. Keenan Allen, 830 with 4 TDs, terrible. Defensively, Kenneth Murray, 136 tackles for a loss, 13 for Vernon Butler, 10.5 sacks for Joey Bosa, 3 interceptions for Derwin James. Safeties on the team is going to be 1 for Joey Bosa and 1 for DeMarvin, and 0 defensive touchdowns. So anyways, guys, apart from that, not a great season. Hopefully we can just improve once again like we did last offseason. So let's just get to the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Chiefs beat the Giants by 2 points. No way Danny Dimes made it to the Super Bowl. Zeke wins MVP once again, back-to-back. Urban Meyer on the Jaguars wins Coach of the Year. Doesn't make a lot of sense. It seems like rookie QBs are just so overpowered in simulation every Madden year. So anyways, guys, looking into it, offensively, we look at the exact same, no upgrades. Brian Bulaga is probably going to be off the team by the end of this year. Our first round pick, DeMarvin, I believe it is. If I'm mispronouncing it, I'm sorry. Or I don't know how you say his last name. He didn't get it off dev up, but whatever. Let's get into the retirement seat at the AFC West this time. Let's actually not mess it up like we did last time. AFC West, there is no retirements. That is cool with me, but looking into the re-signings to see if the players we have to negotiate. Derwin James, I do want back, so of course we have to up the bonus because he was being picky about his contract, and he re-signs. Brian Bulaga is a no. Nasir Adderley is a no, and apart from that, guys, the team looks relatively all right. So once again, guys, it's time to move to free agency. So in free agency, I only got one player, Daron Payne. He was the only player of interest to me, and I moved Jerry Tillery to the inside at defensive tackle as well because I moved the team to a 4-3. So anyways, guys, apart from that, let's get into the draft. So nobody on the board. I didn't like anybody on the board. For those of you guys saying, oh, this is an unrealistic trade, we had the 2nd overall pick in the draft, and we were able to acquire Darius Leonard and Braden Smith or Brandon Smith. Either one, doesn't matter. They're in their contract year. I need them on my team. So they are in their contract year, and I highly doubt the Colts could re-sign them, especially with all the other contracts they have, and especially with Carson Wentz's contract. So this is what we have, moved to a 4-3. Absolutely love this team. If this team doesn't make the playoffs, EA Simulation is truly rigged, because anytime I play on the team that is doing decently, they're like, nah, doesn't count. Let's sign Kenyon Drake. Actually, never mind. We can't sign Kenyon Drake because we don't have the money. Okay. That's good to know that we may not be able to re-sign the players that we just traded for. Okay, let's get into the midseason. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 3-4, second in the division behind the 6-0 Kansas City Chiefs. Makes no sense how we're 3-4. I hate this simulation. Austin Eckler is a yes. Oh wow, we got quite the players to resign. Justin Herbert's first on the list. He resigns. And I want to know why I don't get a 5th-year option. I don't know why 5th-year options are just no longer included in the game. Kenneth Murray resigns. Austin Eckler, of course, I do want him back at 89 overall star development. 28 years old, though, as he resigns. Why did I not get a 5th-year option for Justin Herbert? I wanted to push his contract back another year so that way I wouldn't have to pay him big money. But that makes no sense. I hate that. Anyways, guys, let's just get into the playoffs. So now here we are in the playoffs as we finished 13-4, second in the division behind the 14-2 Kansas City Chiefs, as we are here to face the 8-9 Jacksonville Jaguars. And I wish I could get an 8-9 and make the playoffs, but I seem to miss the playoffs almost every year. So looking into the stats and awards for this year, looking into it, that terrible season for Justin Herbert. God awful. 19th best offense, best defense in the NFL. That makes a lot of sense. Doesn't make sense Justin Herbert's season at all. Austin Eckler, 13 touchdowns. Apparently her second string had 15 touchdowns. 1,400 yards, though. Great year for him. Keenan Allen, 4 TDs, 800 yards. Not great. Defensively, Darius Leonard, 116 tackles for a loss, and that doesn't matter. Joey Bosa, 18.5 sacks is literally insane. 3 interceptions for Avonte Maddox, 0 safeties, and 0 defensive touchdowns. That doesn't look like the number one defense to me. I don't know why it does that. But looking into it, boys, what do we have here? Manage franchise staff. I do want to throw in some staff points since we have 101 staff points here. And I do want to boost training XP so that way, obviously, we have better players. Just keep spending it on what we can right now. And sure, I'll just confirm that. I went with the defensive option instead of the offensive option. Scheme fit, I don't need to worry about. And I just upgraded the defensive line a little bit more for their XP. So anyways, guys, apart from that, I think we should be able to simulate in the next week to see if we can beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we do, beating them, 28-17, as we are here to face the Baltimore Ravens. We lost. Okay, 24-21 as we lost, but don't worry, we still have another year to rebuild the team. So anyways, guys, apart from that, let's move into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Chiefs win the 3rd Super Bowl in a row. Wow, great simulation. Lamar Jackson wins league MVP. That's cool, I guess. Doesn't really matter to me. But looking into the, not staff moves, the lineup to see if there is any development upgrades. I hate how the entire simulation is based on your QB, and my QB can't even put up numbers. Please tell me in the comment section how I can get receiving numbers. I have 2 above average receivers with a great quarterback. Looks like Paul Barnes. I don't know who that guy is. As superstar dev, I guess. Apparently a CPU pick that I never noticed, but apparently he has superstar dev. Nobody else got an upgrade. So let's move in to the next week to see our 2023 retirements for the AFC West. And looking into it, Von Miller retires on the Broncos. Kind of expected that. Spent his entire career there. Looking into the player negotiations now, Michael Davis now. No, Joshua Kelly, I'm pretty sure he had more touchdowns than Austin Eckler this year. Doesn't matter. Let's move into the draft. We were in the draft picking up Josh Mason, 77 overall, normal dev. Really the best player available. Didn't really have anything for this team. But here we are, boys, as we are finally going to check out our team and looking into it. Yeah, this is what we have. Not a bad team. I think it's well above average. We have an 87 overall team. This is a great team. Just EA Simulation just hates me. It's so annoying. But anyways, guys, apart from that, it's time to move on to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 6-1, top of the division, coming off a win to the Colts as the Chiefs are 4-3. That is great to see. Looking into the contract negotiations, we don't need to re-sign anybody because it is the final year. I'm surprised by Bryce Callahan stayed in 83 overall and was able to manage to stay on this team throughout the entire rebuild, because whenever we signed him, he was like 29 years old. So it's great to see that he was able to stay the entire rebuild. Let's boost some XP here, and those don't really matter to me, so I'll just go on this side instead. That doesn't really matter to me either. X Factor, what do I want here? Sure, increase catching. Why not? Just keep upgrading these until I have no more staff points, because it really doesn't matter to me where these go from that point, and upgrade this as well. Just keep spam upgrading everything I can, and yeah, upgrade that one more time. And okay, I'm fine with everything there. I like what we have. So anyways, guys, apart from that, we're gonna have to move into the playoffs. Hopefully we can actually do something here. So anyways, guys, let's get into it. So here we are in the playoffs, and for a second there, I thought we'd have a first-round bye, being an 89 overall team, top of the division, first-round bye. Let's go. That is what I'm talking about, and we are also, I think we were like 15-2 finishing out the season, but Justin Herbert, dang, I wish he had more passing yards. Dude, it's so annoying. 10th best offense, 2nd best defense. That makes a lot of sense. But looking into it, Justin Herbert, 3,400 yards, 37 TDs, only 3 interceptions. Great final year. 9 TDs, 1,100 yards. Keenan Allen, 10 yards away from 1,000-yard season. Josh Palmer, 13 TDs. Okay. Darius Leonard, 110 tackles. Tackles for a loss, 15 for D. Marvin. And sacks, 17 for Joey Bosa and 12 for Uchenna Nwosu. Great season for them. 4 interceptions for Avonte Maddox, 0 safeties, and 0 defensive touchdowns. So, anyways, guys, apart from that, we're going to be simulating this wildcard round to see who we are going to be playing in the divisional round. And I think I always simulate the wildcard round in the divisional round. We're going to be facing the Browns, who are 11-6. Let's see if we can beat them to move on. And we do. Here to face the divisional rivals, the 12-5 Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see if we can beat them as well. So, where's the button to play? I'm so confused. Play conference championship. Oh, okay. So simulate the weekly training. I don't care about that. So anyways, guys, apart from that, let's just jump into this game. So here we are against the Chiefs in the fourth quarter, as it is 28-18 against the Chiefs. Now 35-18. We're clearly taking the lead. 35-25. Hopefully we don't. Ooh, we're choking. 32-25, as we are going to win this, boys. 35-32, my bad. But 35-32, and how do we play the game against the Cowboys? As we are facing the Cowboys. I don't know why. I was just so confused about that, but how do I do that? But first of all, let's look into the team. Is there any dev upgrades? Offensively, no. Defensively, no. Look, we look the exact same, which is a little bit underwhelming, but it is the final season, and we have made the Super Bowl, beating the Chiefs 32-35. So how do I play this? Is there a certain... Do I click on the... What is happening? How do I play this? I'm so confused. Where is the button to play? View bracket? What? We clearly beat the Chiefs. What is this? We beat the Chiefs. We beat the Chiefs. 35-32. I showed it on camera. What is happening? Simulate the week. The Chiefs beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Chiefs just won 4 Super Bowls in a row. We just beat them. That doesn't make sense. God, EA, fix. This is so stupid. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna mark this as a successful rebuild because we did make the Super Bowl. What do you want me to do? Like, can I look at something? No, not snapshots, not Snapchat, dude. Okay, but do I go? Yeah, schedule. Sure, schedule. Go to team schedule, and let's go to the postseason. There we go. And we did not lose 0-32. God, this game sucks. We won 32-35. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, this is the reason I don't want to play this game. Simulation stat sucks, and obviously simulation isn't even right. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this rebuild. I'm going to mark it as a successful one. See you in the next one.